My name is Angela Froemming. I work with the Roseville area schools, and I'm working with kindergartners, first and second graders. And the part of systemic functional linguistics that I've explored the most has been lexical cohesion. And SFL is all about meaning making, and the way that words relate to each other within a text is really a big part of holding that meaning together. So lexical cohesion is just using multiple words to refer back to the same thing. So the pink writing there comes from a National Geographic for Kids magazine. And you can see that even in a relatively low-level text, the author is already using multiple words to talk about the same thing. So they're talking about a jaguar. First it's introduced as a big cat, then it's specified as a jaguar, and then later on it's referred to as it. So even right away within one page, a jaguar is referred to 3 different ways. And then pronoun referencing is also part of lexical cohesion, and that's just simply using a pronoun to refer back to a noun. So one of the ways that I have been building this awareness with students is through practicing pronouns with them. I work with a lot of Karen students in Roseville, and there are no gendered pronouns in the Karen language, so we've been spending some extra time on his, her, he, she, as well. So here's a project that some second graders did. In their classroom, they were working on members of their families, and so they were doing writing about their family. They were targeting vocabulary words in their classroom of role and rely, so they made books using those words. And then also to target the pronouns and understand that pronouns are talking about specific people, they got to plug into their sentence stems the pronouns to talk about Sister Johanna. We'll refer to her using her. Her role is to learn. I rely on her to help me with my homework. Our little brother Thomas, we talk about him using the word his or him. So lexical cohesion might be simple or natural for a native English speaker, but for students who are still navigating academic English, it's more likely to require some specific instruction and attention. And authors use lexical cohesion across all content areas, all grade levels. So as an ESL teacher, I've been trying to find more ways to integrate lexical cohesion into my instruction. So here's how I usually begin. I begin with the pronouns, and then to take it a step further, this is also a project I did with second graders, and it was kind of in sync with getting them ready for a country research project they were doing in their mainstream classrooms. And they got to research animals, and it started by looking through different books about animals and answering questions such as, what does your animal look like, where does your animal live, how does it move, what can it do? And then based on the information they learned, they thought of different ways that they could refer to that animal. So one boy was doing a great white shark, and so after doing some research on the great white shark, he decided he could call the great white shark king of the ocean, a fast swimmer, the ocean killer. And then once they had their different names for that animal, then they were able to put them into sentences, and eventually they made a book about their animals. And originally they all wanted to name their books animals. I said, well, you guys have learned a lot of new interesting words. Think about how could you make that sound more interesting. And this girl decided on lovely creatures. We had critters around the globe. They got creative. And that's something that I'm seeing as a result of using lexical cohesion in my instruction, is that I'm seeing students be more creative. They're taking more ownership over their word choices. They're being creative, they're having fun with language. And that's something that I really appreciate about the SFL perspective, is I feel like it really promotes higher order thinking with students, and ESL is more almost like a language enrichment time rather than remedial education. So I think that's really powerful for the students.